Starting with you, what's your name? Where you from?
Oh, you want it separate? Or are we both?
Let's do it together.
I'll do it together? So come in.
Right there is fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so rolling?
Yeah, rolling.
Alright.
What's your name and where are you from?
So my name is Xavier Diaz. I was born in New York, from Long Island, but recently moved to Brooklyn as of 2 years ago.
So my name is Angie. I'm from Colombia originally. I lived there for about 19 years and I came about 4 years ago and I'm living in New York.
So your English is very good, actually.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying
Very
to
good.
learn.
She doesn't think so, but it's very
I don't
good.
think so.
I like it. I think it's pretty good.
accent,
Yeah, it sounds almost native.
but- Oh.
Now,
Yeah,
you
you see?
said you're a New Yorker, right?
Yes.
What can you tell me about the difference between Manhattan and the outer boroughs?
And the other boroughs,
Yeah.
definitely Brooklyn, it feels less touristy, it feels less corporate. Like
Yeah.
it feels like the people that are in Brooklyn are like from Brooklyn. We live in South Brooklyn near Coney Island.
It's more
so
local.
you see
Yeah.
it's definitely more like diverse in terms of immigration. Like there's a lot of Russians, there's a lot of Asians, a lot of Hasidic Jews. Whereas if you go to like northern Brooklyn or to Manhattan, it feels more corporate-y. It feels like more transplants, like people that moved out of state and came to New York. I think that would be definitely the main difference.
Yeah, definitely think the same. And the diversity where we live, it's like that's the thing that I like the most about living in New York, the diversity. Because I live in other states like Maryland, and there was mostly like just not that much diversity. Like Chinese people, Asians, everywhere, people from everywhere speaking different languages. That's what I like about New York.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about Colombia?
Colombia's a beautiful country. It's very warm. That's what I miss the most about Colombia, the warm weather. But you eventually get used to. What I can say is that the difference.
She was not used to it
between
yesterday. She was cold
no.
yesterday.
I was so cold. I was missing Colombia yesterday, definitely the most. But like, it's just I definitely like miss about like the warm people. It's just different when you come to a new country and people like New York is a fast-paced place and people just go forward. There where I lived, it was like you say hello to everyone, like every single person. You good morning, good afternoon, like just it's like the community is way more together, like, and we help each other more. I don't know, here it's a little bit more spread. It's also a huge city, and where I come from is a small city, so it's like, yeah, you mostly not like know your neighbors and you're in contact with them. You make barbecues, you make things with them. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, you could walk around New York every single day for a month and see different people every day and never run into the same people. Like it's just so big here. We're very different in a small city.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people tend to mind their own business too, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. It's like kind of demystify the mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? When you first got to New York and you
Yeah,
saw
what was
that-
your first impressions coming here?
Okay, my first impression was kind of like.
Or just America in general, right?
So when I first got here.
Oh, you came to New York?
Yeah, I came to New York because I came as an au pair.
All right.
So I was in New York, and we were walking around, and to me it was so impressive. The huge buildings, so much people around. I wasn't used to so much people around me and the buildings. I was just looking around. I couldn't stop looking up. And the lights, Times Square was like the most impressive thing. Because like where I'm from, there's not that much like huge buildings. It's just small houses, and there's not like, and also people walking around like with like phones out and everything. Like some places, I don't want to talk about bad about my country, but some places you have to be secure. Like you can't just be walking around with your phone out and cameras and all
Oh,
the
they
stuff
have
that
the
we were.
pickpockets.
Yeah, so that's something that you have to like be careful about. But here it's like everyone just walks with everything out. Like
You got
doesn't
two
matter.
cameras
Feel
right
safe.
here
Yeah,
just
and
in the open.
there's so much police around too.
Yeah.
That's true. New York City has a lot of cops. A lot
of cops,
It's
yeah,
like an
that's
army
all.
here.
That it does.
Yeah.
All right, now you're a New Yorker. Can you do a New York accent?
The New
Like
York
one of those
accent.
traditional, like,
New
hey,
York,
what are you
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Dead ass, I got my Timbs on, dog.
That sounds like Spider Cuz.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
Nah, who's Spider Cuz?
He's like one of the personalities that come around.
Oh,
here.
really? And
Yeah.
he's dressed in Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's dressed as Spider-Man. In Tim's,
I
too.
think we've seen him
Yeah.
like on Instagram, like walking around doing crazy things.
Yeah. That should be the guy.
Dead ass.
Yeah,
Dead
that's
ass.
it. And he walks around with like a bottle of liquor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Yeah, we learning
On a
slang.
roll.
New York slang is the best.
Okay, now y'all are content creators. How did you get into that?
Yeah.
What made you want to start doing that?
So I've been a videographer for a few years, since like 2016. I started doing a podcast in 2018 as a way to just talk to people, just to get to know new people. I started with the podcast. Then I realized I wanted to do more video. I started doing the interviews remotely because of the pandemic and everything, so it was just on Zoom, and it made it more accessible to just interview people from across the world, across the country. So I started doing the Zoom thing, and then I was just like, wait, I could just do a video podcast. And so that's how the YouTube channel started. We've done a mini documentary together where we filmed a collage artist from here in the city. So we do a lot of different videos. Right now we're working on a new one called New York is Dead, where we talk to people about if they think how the city's going to recover post-pandemic. And it's just a lot of fun to get out there and talk to people. She's also a really great sculptor. So she started doing sculpting, and she could talk about that.
I mean, I got into polymer sculpture, and then I'm just starting to like maybe create a YouTube channel, because that always helps, and social media always helps too, and put out my content. And just
How'd you get into sculpting?
I just started. I always liked art, and sculpting is something that I felt that you found like your niche, because I tried watercolors, I tried oil painting, I tried other types of clay, and then I got into polymer clay, and I just felt that was what I liked, and that was my connection. I had a connection. It's like almost therapeutic doing that. That's why.
So what would you consider to be your most successful content out there? What are you most known for?
Yeah, definitely that one video that we were just talking about of the collage artist Luis Martin. Shout out to the art engineer Luis Martin. We did a video series called A Pretty Normal Day, where we follow an artist through what a pretty normal day looks like for them in their studio. So he brought us into a studio in Williamsburg, and that video right now is at like 17,000 views, which is crazy because we uploaded it in August of last year, and it was getting like a couple views here and there. It was stuck at 50 for a while, and then I don't know what happened, but it was just like whoop. So that's at 17,000 right now, and I'm really happy, mostly because the people that leave comments on that video are always like, oh my god, this is such an amazing person, like, and they go and follow his channel, and he said that it's now brought him a whole bunch of like new subscribers. So just creating a platform for creators, that's what I'm most proud of.
What are some other you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to say that it's just helping each other, and New York is full of creators and artists, and that's why I think like working with other creators can just make a bigger platform for them to like show what they do, and also just create like a community of creators.
Okay, now, so what kind of advice do you have for people who want to become content creators?
Be consistent, and just know that it's gonna take a while. Like,
it's just gonna be a roller coaster.
At first, when I started the podcast, like what I quickly realized is if you think you could just do one podcast a week and release it and then you'll be good, it's not gonna get anywhere. You gotta release the podcast, you gotta chop it up into clips so that you can put it on social media, you gotta do a whole bunch of things to promote it, you gotta network. It's not just, okay, I dropped this podcast on Sunday, let me lay back until the next interview when I put out the next podcast. Like, nah, you constantly are making more content out of the content you already made. So it's like contentception. Just keep making content within the content and be consistent. If you think that it's just gonna happen overnight, then you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. You're gonna be real disappointed real fast when you realize, oh shit, nobody's watching my content, because that's bound to happen. Be consistent, be proud of what you're making, be happy with what you're making, and it'll go from there. Like,
What about length, in terms of length? Like, because nowadays you see all these people doing 1 minute TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Do you think like people are looking for short things or like longer things? Because my longest video is 1 hour and 20 minutes with one guy.
Yeah.
So do you think people are really trying to sit there watching something for 1 hour 20 minutes?
Well, that depends on the content, because I feel like
Joe Rogan's got like 3-hour
like-
videos and people love those. But
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, a lot of people are on TikTok and they're making like minute-long things.
Also-
Instagram is I think 15 seconds for reels.
Yeah.
And people just look for like sometimes just quick things that they can look over on the toilet.
Yeah,
You know,
well-
like dance and yeah.
But
it depends.
there's a demographic for everything. Like we said, Joe Rogan's got 3-hour videos that people watch. A lot of the interviews I do are like an hour and stuff, and they get views. It all depends. Like
Yeah.
I think there's now content for every part of your day. So if you're on the toilet taking a shit and you want something quick, you got something. If you're washing dishes and you know that the phone is going to be down for like a good length of time, you got podcasts.
Podcast,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got something for every part of the day. Entertainment at all times.
Now, let me ask you some like general questions. If you could time travel, what year would you go to?
Ooh, you're getting deep now.
Yeah. Because, you know, Back to the Future, they went to 1955,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just asked myself, why are they going
When
to
you could go,
1955?
you could either
I
go
wouldn't
to the
go there.
future or to the past. Wow.
Past or future.
Past or future.
Somebody said they want to see themselves after they die. I mean, I think one common thing that people would say is, I want to know how I died
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
when I died.
Yeah.
So what would you want to see? Some people say they want to see the legacy they left behind as well.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but I would also be a little scared. Like, what if I time travel, see myself in the future, and I'm just like homeless or something, or like I didn't succeed in nothing. I'm just alone in a cabin, drunk. Like that'd be scary, because then I would snap back to this time period and be
But
like,
wouldn't
oh,
that
shit.
straighten you out though?
I don't know what I'm straightening out. That's the problem. Like right now, I think I'm on a
Like
good
Scrooge,
path.
right?
Like right now, I think I'm on a good path. But if I did that and I saw that, I would reconsider what am I doing, and then I would,
Yeah.
you know, it might take me to a different path, which might actually get me there. So you never know.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't like to see me how I died, because then I will just constantly be paranoid,
Yeah.
getting away from the thing that caused my death. So
killed
no,
you.
I will not go to the future.
If I went to the past, I would do the 1920s, see what the Roaring 20s were like when people were just partying.
That was the Great Depression.
The Great
No,
Depression.
the Great Depression.
You went from
was in
one
the-
Great Depression to
No,
another
the Great
one.
Depression was in the 30s.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, the Roaring 20s. Was
Oh, that was
like a
right
period
before
of
the Depression.
celebration
Oh, so
with
you
the-
wanted to go before the
Yeah,
Depression.
with like the flappers, with the women like who were
Oh, the zoot
flappers,
suits?
and they were partying.
What about the rock and roll? I would like
The
to go
era,
to
the 50s?
The rock and roll, yeah.
Yeah, I would go to the 20s.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm outside like, can I spend $50?
oh, I'm sorry, we're in the middle of an interview.
I'm sorry, bro.
It's all good.
Sorry. Okay, you were saying?
Yeah, I would like to go for like the time.
You wanna go to
rock and
20s too?
roll,
She going to the
Elvis.
time, the Elvis
Elvis,
era.
really?
No, you know what? No, maybe to where like where all the rock bands were like coming out, Led Zeppelin and all those bands. I would love to see them like.
When was that? Was that the 60s?
Like 70s,
That was
like,
like-
love era. I don't know.
So I-
60s, I'm not too sure.
I'm
but
not sure.
yeah, I would go right before Prohibition, right when they were partying hard as fuck.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they were
that's
just
right.
drinking, and which led to them banning alcohol. I think that was a
Yeah.
wild period.
Okay, now if you were to have 3 wishes, what would they be? Skip any questions you want to skip.
I would wish that New York had Florida's climate year round. If New York had Florida climate, it would be the greatest place in the world. Like if it never got cold in New York City, it would be, I don't think people would leave here. I think the rent would be like $17,000 a month and people would pay it.
Yeah.
That would be your first wish. I don't know.
The
I
second
always
wish would be to
think
keep the rent prices down.
of- I don't know. I always think of like the general thing like, oh, I wish there was no poverty in the world. Everyone will have the same. It would be like a socialist.
She's making me look bad. She's making me look real selfish. I'm here wishing for New York with good weather. She's hoping the world has
So
like,
you
a better
complement
place.
each other. She
Yeah.
balances you out.
And hunger, just and especially like kids and animals suffering. I would end that.
Yeah,
Definitely, I would end that.
yeah,
But
and human
just
trafficking. That shit is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change people's minds of not like having the need of eating meat, killing animals.
Yeah.
That would be another thing.
It's a lot of wishes.
Yeah.
So if you could redo any part of your life, what would it be? Like a mistake that you made that you wanted to correct? Any major mistakes?
I'm pretty content right now with where
Content?
I'm at in life.
Yeah.
So like I think if I went back and changed anything,
Uh-huh.
right now I wouldn't be
Yeah.
in this spot. So
Right.
I'm gonna leave things clean.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
just
see.
think if I fix something,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be in the place where I am right now, and I wouldn't have learned anything.
Yeah.
Like, your mistakes just help you learn.
Right.
Fall and get back
So you
up.
make the most of it. All right. Did you want to talk about? Wait, what are you gonna do 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself?
5 years from now.
We have talked about
We have
that.
spoken about this.
Yeah.
It seems like we in New York for the time being. Like right now, we're pretty stable.
For me, if I could, I will see myself in Thailand, visiting some friends that I have there in Thailand and living there for a while, for like a few months, and then traveling to another place, and then that's how I would like to see myself in 5 years. But
Hopefully, the channel has gotten to a point where it's self-sufficient, and because that's what I care about, not the money so much. It's more about the freedom that it brings you, where you don't have to be locked down to a job in an office in one place. Like if you're a content creator, you can take off and live wherever and create content and upload it. So that's what is more about, at least for me, is like not the money, is the freedom that it brings.
So we're at 15 minutes now. How much more time do you want to do on this?
I think we good. You know, I'll just shout out, hey, youtube.com/prettynormalproductions, www.aprettynormal.com. Check it out.
Check it out.
Plenty of interviews, plenty of content, documentaries, short films, collages. Hey, it's all on there.
So that's your main platform is YouTube?
Yeah.
What about you?
no, it's the same.
It's the same? No Instagrams or anything? TikTok?
No, not TikTok.
No?
Yeah, not
You have
TikTok.
TikTok, right?
I do have a TikTok. A Pretty Normal. So at
Pretty
A Pretty Normal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
Yeah.
and Facebook /A Pretty Normal. You'll find it all there. A Pretty Normal. But aprettynormal.com will bring you to all that stuff as well.
Okay, do I have your permission to put this on the internet?
Yes.
Yes.